Hey, friends. Thanks for joining me. I have journaled, I've done the work, my words. Let's get rid of this glare. And let's remember some self care. So, I got myself a fancy little glass today. This is just a little thrift store find. Very, very happy. Cut myself a little fruit. I chose lemon. Please choose something that suits your mood. Mine was sour. Cheers. Just a little cool water. I drove a friend of mine to the airport. I had all the intentions of, just getting creative, going down to visit friends. What happened? Well, yes, I was frozen in fear, felt like I was held hostage in my own skin, kind of sunk into some survival habits. And with that, I am feeling those setbacks and I'm riding out the storm. That's what we say here down in Louisiana when you got a hurricane coming and you choose to stay instead of evacuate, you are choosing to ride out the storm. And that's what I chose today. It was tough. It's still tough. It got me to thinking about generational trauma, how those survival habits and emotional wounds, they can be passed down one generation to the next. It may come from abuse, neglect, poverty, violence, addiction, loss, the grief that comes with loss, racism, instability in your family, long term stress. There's so many reasons for generational trauma. It's not that we're broken, it's that our nervous system is deregulated. Our coping skills, our beliefs about safety were probably jeopardized and shaped by what happened before us, around us, and as well as to us. Setbacks are common. I know that because trauma recovery is not in a straight line. I completely shut down today. Something triggered me. I went into survival mode and I deactivated my social media accounts. Sometimes that coping mechanism is like a way of isolating and like escapism. So I'm like an escape artist, like Houdini or some shit, but it's not funny. It sucks. And sometimes all I can do is deactivate those accounts because fear. And this used to happen to me when I was younger. I don't know if you can relate to this, but we still had like telephone lines in our houses. And I was young, I was like 20, and I gotten married, and I was, a new mom. And the phone would ring, and I would get this horrible, like, just chest clutching fear. I would think to myself like, "Oh my god, I have this fear because I am nervous about bill collectors, or there's an expectation that I can't meet on the other end of the line." And when we switched to cell phones, it didn't make the situation better for me. And now that I can look back on it, I can see that this was a trigger, put the panic in my pocket, basically. So learning to deal with that and learning when to shut off and step away, I was grateful to be able to recognize and be aware. Um, I know we talked a lot about past traumas of childhood. As I continued to get older, um, it just continued to get worse. And some of that violence in my home was directed at me, mostly because my mother stepped out of the home a lot. She was working. I think she was just looking for an excuse to get out of the home as well. So once, we moved to Louisiana, um, we thought, oh, this is, a new start. A lot of people in addiction or violent situations tend to think that if you move the problem will not follow you. But that's not true. So we just took the violence and we took the alcoholism and the drug addiction, took it to Louisiana, especially after losing, my best friend, my grandmother. I was just left with these two maniacs who had no idea of how to parent. My mom tried her best. She made the money and supported us, and my dad blew the money, smoked crack, take us with him to buy the crack, and then tell us we need to hide on the floorboard so that way the cops wouldn't take us away. We would do this pattern. We'd go home. My mom would come back from work. We would never talk about this. I had a little brother at that time living with us, and I did most of his caretaking. So I am starting to understand the caretaker archetype that I spoke about is something that has followed me forever because I've had to protect my brother, who's 7 years younger than me, um, cook for him, shield him from what I already anticipated coming, the violence, the screaming, the chaos. I would, make sure that he was entertained, and I would shuffle him into another room and keep him away from those things, which I'm realizing anxiety was shaped around entertaining. It's hard for me to entertain. It's hard for me to want company. I would much rather be the company and leave than you be the company and stay too long. I'm really not a jerk, but um, but saying these things out loud really, yeah, I notice that these are not good things. These are not good habits. These are definitely survival habits, and that's something I am looking to shift. I'm learning that a setback, like what I had today, is not erasing my progress. It is simply my body saying that this still feels unsafe. We notice these patterns, we name them, we choose one safer response than the one trauma taught us. And it might mean pausing before reacting, grounding yourself, asking for support, reaching out, and setting a boundary, or just resting, like without guilt. That's hard for me. I need to be busy, 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 busy all the time. Leaving my toxic work environment, find out who I am again after doing that for a year and a half. There's a pattern here. I choose toxic work environments. Maybe they choose me. Well, obviously they do. They hire me. But maybe they recognize something in me that I don't recognize in myself all the time. So I end up in these situations where there's hostility, there's, yelling, it's always chaotic. I feel like sometimes I can't operate without chaos, and it's really sad. I see this same pattern in my mom, who I don't think ever really took the time to address her healing or address, like, you know, the trauma she's been through. She just kind of raw dogs life, and it's hard to see someone you love. Like, healing doesn't just mean getting over it. It's like completely based on rebuilding safety in your body and in your nervous system and trust in relationships. I hope that you've done something today for yourself, even if it's just recognition, understanding patterns, or being a little more aware of your triggers. The next time these situations appear, maybe you'll have a different perspective, and one day at a time. I'm working on eye contact. I know I don't make eye contact very well. It's a thing. It's a thing. But um I know where I need to look to see you. I don't know. It's one of the things um trauma survivors might do. And if you recognize this in another person, there's solidarity there. We must hold space for one another. So thank you for holding space for me today. And for healing in any way that you could. This is me healing today. This water and this lemon and those 6 words that I've written down today. And that's enough. Cheers.